Hi, my name's Phil. I'd like to talk about politics, and in this video I'd like to discuss how Elon Musk, who has no mandate for government, is nonetheless formulating and implementing policy decisions as if he were a full Secretary of State in the US government. If there were any doubts about America becoming an oligarchy, those doubts should be swept aside right now. Trump is not running the government. He's just the front for his barons, with Musk chief amongst them. President Musk used as a playful taunt to upset Trump. There's a lot of truth in it. But first, for daily political commentary, please hit the subscribe button to stay notified. So, Dmitry Medvedev, a senior Russian, has praised Elon Musk's moves. Now, before I focus in on what this is about, let us consider this concept of Make America Great Again as a political aim. The Make America Great Again never made sense to me. America has the largest economy in the world. It controls the reserve currency. It has the most powerful military in the world. Many of its businesses also dominate important sectors of the global economy and information pathways. How exactly is it possible to describe that as not great? I guess you could argue that ordinary Americans don't get a great deal out of it, which is true, but Trump has now confirmed that Americans are going to experience economic pain because of his plans. He's not going to boost access to healthcare. He's making it harder. He's not going to improve standards of living. He's raising the cost of living. But anyway, the nonsense of MAGA aside, even if you thought there was greater scope for making America even greater than it clearly already is, it's just possible that if Russia is praising your moves, you might not actually be acting in America's interest, but maybe Russia's. And why would Russia particularly approve of cuts to US aid? Because Russia has been waging a war of destabilization around the world, particularly in Africa and the Middle East, for years in a deliberate attempt to create a refugee crisis to then destabilize Europe. Foreign aid works to counter some of those destructive tactics. It's absolute madness to me in this country, again, by the way. If you're anti-immigration, you should be pro-foreign aid, because foreign aid keeps people from becoming refugees. That is what it does. So, cutting foreign aid means that their efforts will work even better, many more refugees, bigger problem for Europe, right? Weakening those who stand against their imperial plans. And I suppose it's just a coincidence that Elon Musk has also been in regular contact with the Russian government ahead of the US election last year. But why is a senior Russian specifically praising Musk for this? Surely it's Trump's policy. He's the head of government, and this is an executive order. Why are they specifically praising Musk? Because when Democrats joked about President Musk, there was a ring of truth in their taunting. Elon Musk is deciding US policies. He hasn't been elected. Now, it is quite common in America for secretaries of state in the federal government to not be elected, but appointed by the president, and they can pull them from all walks of life, business leaders and so on. That's quite normal. But to at least give them a brush with democracy, they have to be interviewed and confirmed at a Senate hearing. So, senior members of the government are nominated by someone who is elected and confirmed by others who are also elected. Elon Musk has not gone through this process. He has no official role in government and so has not had to be interviewed on Capitol Hill. I mean, if all he is an advisor to Trump and Trump does things that he advised, okay, you can have advisors, but he is running parts of the government. This weekend, there were news reports that Musk aides had locked civil servants out of computer systems, government computer systems. Now, first of all, it's worth considering that reference to Musk aides there. In short, there should be no such thing. Aides are publicly funded assistants for senior politicians. As Musk is neither elected to high office nor being cleared by Congress for it, why on earth does he have publicly funded staff attached to him who have the power to lock government employees out of their computer systems? Then there's what this move represents. See, Donald Trump denied all knowledge of Project 2025 during the election campaign. Yet this is Project 2025 being implemented right now. The removal of large numbers of civil servants from the federal government if they are not loyal MAGA supporters. Incredibly damaging to America long term, because there's no recovering from it, by the way, once it happens. If you massively downsize the civil service, then lots of work simply doesn't get done. That weakens the job of government, which of course is exactly what a group of oligarchs would want. But it's powerfully against the interests of ordinary Americans. But this is beyond simple austerity. This is specifically removing and appointing civil servants based on their allegiance to a political credo. A political credo which I've already described as being at odds with reality. Elon Musk is doing what Dominic Cummings wanted to do in the UK a few years ago. He wanted to replace senior civil servants with those who were committed believers in Brexit, another political ideology which is at odds with the national interest. Only Musk appears to have the authority to do what Cummings was unable to achieve. And it's going to leave the federal government with people in charge who are not only too few in number to get anything done, but are chosen for political allegiance, not competence. Now, there is a silver lining there, you could argue, in that if this happens very quickly, then whatever Trump aims to do with the federal government over the next few years will be frustrated by the fact he has appointed too few people, and those too few people have been rounded up from the Village Idiots Convention. But I could also link back with the way oligarchy turned out in Russia. Whole industries given over to powerful Russians as payment for supporting Putin's power. But because they didn't understand the businesses that they were given to run, they ran them very poorly. Now the major oligarch industries of Russia are very inefficient, as a result don't make them or the country very much money. It's what happens when you put incompetent people in charge of anything. It doesn't run well. And the problem here is this isn't a problem that gets fixed if a more suitable president wins, say, the next election. They'll be stuck with a dysfunctional civil service. This is also part of the plan. That is effectively what Project 2025 is. It is to retain control of the government even when your opponents are running it. Politicians make policy, but they can't implement policy. Drafting laws, spending budgets requires a large force of workers to deal with the actual practicalities. If politicians don't have access to those civil servants, the best policies in the world go nowhere. There's nobody to carry them out. It's like a general with no troops. Doesn't matter how brilliant a strategist you are. If you've got no battalions, you can't do anything. The next president will come into office relying on civil servants who are both incompetent and ideologically opposed to the new policies. Nothing will get done. The relatively decent president will fail because it takes way longer to build up a competent and effective civil service with years of experience than it does to trash it. And the populace comes back to power in the following election, albeit Trump's successor rather than himself. And although there's no shortage of articles pointing out what's happening in America right now, I'm not really detecting that note of alarm that I think should come with them. Elon Musk is dismantling the American federal government. He has no public mandate. It's not clear to me that there are even plans for congressional scrutiny of his actions and results. And now it's probably a stretch to call America not a democracy at this point, because we still expect elections to take place, albeit with the usual voter suppression. But the democratic checks on executive power, which were always weak in America, just do not seem to be in operation at all at the moment. And given that Musk is instigating policies as weighty as any Secretary of State, the question really should be, why not? And why is the Russian state praising Musk for US government policies? Americans should think on that. Even Trump supporters should think on that. Not just why are they praising the policies, which should be an alarm bell in itself, but why are they praising Musk, not Trump? Think on that. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, please click the like button and subscribe for further content. If you'd like to support the channel further, you can click the join button for memberships. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.